that existed between the Russian government and its entities and the Trump campaign that could provide the roadmap to that final door, which is the Oval Office.
So, Senator, some people will look at this and they'll say, well, look at what he pled guilty to. This wasn't necessarily about collusion. You know, the question of whether the Trump campaign coordinated with the Russian government in a way to give them somehow the upper hand when it came to the election. What do you say to that? I'm assuming you see some dots that can be connected.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening here. What Mueller clearly allowed Flynn to do was to plea bargain, to have the lowest possible sentence to just one count. But it was in return for full cooperation on everything that Mueller wants to obtain in terms of information about the collusion that may have existed between the Russians and the Trump campaign. One person who clearly had very close contact with the Russians throughout this entire process was Michael Flynn. So he is most likely the key person who was in the meetings that has the information that can now help Mueller to provide the next few steps that are going to be necessary to finally put all the information out in public for the American people to understand what happened to our presidential election last year.
Before President Trump fired the FBI director, Jim Comey, he had asked him to drop the investigation into Michael Flynn. With this news today that Michael Flynn has pled guilty, that he has a plea deal with the Mueller probe, what do you think about that ask of Comey?
Well, I think that clearly the president wanted Comey to just end the Flynn investigation. And ultimately, I think that's the key to Comey's firing. And Mueller's appointment was clearly something that Trump never anticipated. He never saw that coming. And so that's why we have to be very careful now, because Flynn is clearly the key person that Donald Trump was most concerned about. And now for the American people, Bob Mueller is the key person we have to be concerned about to make sure that he stays on the job, able, unfettered, to be able to conduct a full investigation no matter where these facts may take him.
It's now clear that a number of the Trump transition team members, and this is what's clear in the charging document that seems to be a warning to those folks from Mueller, that when Flynn did talk with a senior official in the transition, that senior member was, quote, with other senior members of the presidential transition team at the Mar-a-Lago resort. That is Mueller putting these folks on notice, saying, I'm not buying this narrative before that Flynn was just going rogue and doing this on his own. He's saying here that there were a number of people who were knowledgeable of this. What do you think about that, especially as you consider President Trump saying repeatedly, zero, I have nothing to do with Russia?
Yeah, as every day and week and month goes by, we're learning that the earlier denials by Jared Kushner, by Donald Trump Jr., by so many of these people about their knowledge of any relationship with the Russians is just false. And so what Flynn is going to be able to do is to provide the additional information clearly to Mueller that helps this investigation to get right to the bottom of what this Trump operation knew and when they knew it, and potentially what the president knew and when he knew it.
All right, Senator, stand by for us. CNN actually has some new reporting. In this charging document, Flynn spoke to a very senior member of the Trump transition team. Turns out that was Jared Kushner. We're going to get your reaction to that in just a moment.
Grandma, look! Grandma, there's another one!
Yeah, then you
Vision coverage not offered through your employer.
Then you are the
Look
president.
At affordable individual vision plans. That's
and you
direct from
think
VSP.
now I can do everything. But
Daddy?
Thank you, VSP.
saying and
Vision
doing
coverage not offered through your employer? Looking to afford
can have great
individual
consequences.
direct from the SP.
Oh, I do it this, I do it that, and I do it so. I have my lawyers and I don't settle, otherwise you're weak, you loser.
Share your heart this season with the Vistaprint holiday cards. And now, as
The
part of
truth
our
is
Black
coming
Friday
closer
Cyber
and
Monday
closer.
deals, all cards are
It's bigger and
60%
bigger.
off. Use promo code
Heaps
Personality at
and
Vistaprint.
evidence and everything.
Let's see why people everywhere are upgrading
Yeah.
their water filter to zero water.
You want to
Start with
upset
water that has a
people
lot
and you
of
want
dissolved
to
solids. Pour it through Brita's
rip
two-stage
people
filter.
off.
Dissolved solids remain?
Well,
What if we filter it over and over?
I got good news for you, doctor.
Oh dear. Thank goodness
You'll end
Zero
up in
Water's
jail.
five-stage filter gets to all zeros the first
They
time.
can't be
So
marked.
maybe it's time to upgrade. Get more out of your water. Get zero water.
We can put you on,
We started
on,
a campaign to let the American people
hang
raise
you
their
on a
voice
balloon
and
in
say
the
this
air.
president is unfit for office and needs to
naked,
go. Oh, there's a winner.
and let all the dogs
Greenville,
come and
Tennessee, Poughkeepsie, New York,
pee and shit on you.
Indiana, Chattahoochee, Florida. Wow, we're looking at the
Yeah.
whole country, not just the coast.
That is a publicity stunt. That's the last page, the last moment of your movie, how to become a president. That is what you were thinking about. Well, that will be the last chapter.
Has consequences.
This is going to be here for my grandchildren.
He's not being held accountable.
We'll have the vote like we had for election day. They will impeach him. Times Square is the crossroads of the world. We need everyone to go and put their name down at needtoimpeach.com. We need to speak up together and demand an end to this presidency.
Booking a flight at the last minute doesn't have to be expensive. Just go to Priceline. It's the best place to book a flight a few days before my trip and still save up to 40%. Just tap and go. For the best savings on flights, go to Priceline.
This holiday season, don't give a crummy gifts. Show them you really care with the Ring video doorbell. Ring lets you see and speak with anyone at your door from anywhere. Don't take my word for it. Check out over 20,000 five-star Amazon reviews. Like Robert, who writes, Ring is truly amazing. Video saved to the cloud, two-way voice communication. Are you kidding me? No, Robert, we're not kidding you. Available at ring.com and these fine retailers.
Mathneys is the math learning center with over 800 locations. Call us at 844-FUN-MATH. That's 844-FUN-MATH.
And change your child's life forever.
Yeah, there is Santa. There is Santa.
The perfect holiday gift starts with WeatherTech's laser-measured floor liners and
That is a
custom
good idea.
trunk liner for the ultimate protection
Most
for
people
your
forget
vehicle.
that.
Order yours today at WeatherTech.com and keep your vehicle looking its best. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from WeatherTech.
Happy
Closed captioning brought to
holidays.
you by InventHelp. Call 1-800-900-0202.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now for free information.
And we're back now with Senator Ed Markey following what is arguably the biggest breaking news yet in the Russia investigation. That would be the guilty plea by fired National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and the deal that he struck to cooperate with the special counsel. So, Senator, new reporting by CNN, Jared Kushner is that very senior member of the Trump transition team who directed Flynn to contact foreign governments, including Russia, on the UN resolution about Israeli settlements. What does this mean for Jared Kushner?
Well, what it means, if CNN's reporting is accurate, that Jared Kushner should no longer have a security clearance. We need to have a full investigation of this issue as well. We know, obviously, that Jared Kushner now had information, was talking to the Russians, and we need now to further probe this. We have now pierced into the inner circle of Donald Trump's advisor, including his son-in-law. It doesn't get any closer than that to the president. So it's time now for Bob Mueller and congressional committees to ask the questions that the American people want the answer to.
Your Republican colleague Lindsey Graham has sort of warned President Trump about pardoning Michael Flynn. So he's put that out there. I wonder if you think that's a real possibility. Clearly that's something that was on Lindsey Graham's mind. Do you think the president would pardon Flynn?
Well, I never thought that the president would fire Bob Comey, but he did, Jim Comey. The issue really is not whether or not we think he may or may not. We have to, on a bipartisan basis, provide protection for Bob Mueller. We have to ensure that he has the insulated position to do this investigation, to ensure that the American people find out exactly what happened during our presidential election last year. So it's good that Lindsey is saying this because it has to be bipartisan. The president has to understand the consequences if he seeks to pardon Michael Flynn, because there will be an explosion, not just in the House and the Senate, but all across this country, because it will be clear that now the president is trying to engage in an obstruction of justice to prevent this investigation from closing in on the Oval Office.
Legislation to insulate Bob Mueller has been introduced, as you know. It has a long way to go, though. Do you think that that is something that is going to move forward in Congress? Do you think that the special counsel is safe?
I think that it's very important that it's Lindsey Graham. I think it's very important that other Republicans are saying that it is imperative for the president not to in any way interfere with this investigation, to not fire Bob Mueller. And I think that if he attempts to do so, that you're going to see legislation move, if there's any hint at all that Bob Mueller's job is in jeopardy.
All right, Senator Ed Markey, thank you, sir. We do appreciate your time on this very busy Friday. And just ahead, there is some more breaking news on the Michael Flynn plea.